Hello everybody, Cam Anderson here. Today we're going to chat a little bit about Bill 23, or the More Homes Built Faster Act. Love that name, so catchy. That was put into place by the Ontario government on Monday earlier this week. There are a few key things that this really signals, in my opinion, as far as we need 1.5 million new houses to be built in Ontario in the next 10 years. And that's just a fact that we're not going to escape from. So what are the big changes and the big takeaways from Bill 23? All right. The first thing and the most important part here is development charges are being reduced, and municipalities are going to be able to charge less to developers and builders when they build a new house. All right. So if you're a home buyer and you want to buy a new home, part of your purchase price is charged to you as development charges, and those go to the municipality in order to fund things like sewers and roads and other services that the city has to put in place so that you don't live in a dust bowl, okay? You want your water and your sewer to go somewhere, right? I think so. And the municipality is saying, we're going to be able to collect much less money. I know I was reading earlier this week in Toronto, the average new home costs or charges over $120,000 in development charges that gets passed on to a home buyer. That's a lot of money. Here in London, that number is not nearly as high. If you are going to buy a detached or a semi-detached new home, that number is about $44,000. It's still a sizable chunk of money, and that's part of the cost of buying a new home, all right? Dougie says, forget that. We're slashing the costs because we need to ignite the building industry. We need new homes. We need 1.5 million new homes. And that, like I said, is without debate. Our population is at a point right now where we are in a housing crisis. There's not enough homes for the people that live here. And that looks like it's going to get worse as we have more people coming into the country over the next few years. The housing crisis is going to get worse if we don't do something about it. So 1.5 million total, about 40,000 in London and the surrounding area, which actually seems doable. But the tough part is, in order to build new homes, you need people to buy new homes. That is a challenging prospect right now because it is very expensive to build a new home. Very, very expensive. And the reality is, a home buyer in our area faces a very tough but easy decision right now. Do you want something brand new that you can have in 12 months and is expensive, or do you want something that's comparable that you can have in 60 days that probably costs a decent amount of money less? And the unfortunate thing with that is we're not getting new homes built because nobody's buying them. And you can only expect developers and builders to build so many brand new rental condos. There's a ton of them going up in London right now, and they're not going to be cheap to rent. So we need 1.5 million new homes. I'm going to keep saying it. Who is going to buy this stuff? Because it's really expensive. Reality is, new Canadians, they can't buy it. They can't afford a mortgage. They might be able to afford a mortgage. They cannot qualify for a mortgage. They need 2 years credit history, employment, etc. in order to qualify. So the new people coming into Canada will likely be renting something that already exists right now. The thought here is, though people that own those houses or live in those houses right now are going to buy something new or even brand new, and they're the people that are going to fund the 1.5 million new houses that Ontario needs, okay? In response to this inequity we have between building costs and resale homes, Dougie says, we're going to help. We're going to help you builders reduce the cost of your new homes, less DCs, less development charges. And that sounds great. One, do those savings get passed on to the consumer? I really hope so. I think that builders are going to have to be transparent about, okay, we're paying less development charges, we're charging less for our homes. I think that's going to have to happen. But two, the municipalities probably have a valid point of where is the money coming from. So in Ontario, municipalities combined think that over the next 10 years, they think they're going to lose $5 billion in tax revenue from development charges. That's a lot of money. And that can provide a lot of services for a lot of people. That money's gone now, essentially. They have to figure out how they're going to make do without. And the easy thing, like I said, to point at is taxpayers. property owners are probably thinking that their tax bill is going to go up over the next 10 years to cover the shortfall. Is this really going to help spur development because a house costs $40,000 less to build? You know, if it already costs $1 million, that's 4% of the purchase price. That's hard to say that 4% change is really going to make a big difference when people are talking about, do I buy a new house or don't I? I love that the government is doing some things to try and get new homes built. And there are other parts of the new homes built faster, more homes built faster. Like I said, great title, I love it. There are other parts of that will help and make a lot of sense. This one is tough, I think, to see where the benefit is. Yes, new homes might cost a little bit less in the short term. Our property tax is going to go up likely, or we're going to get less services for our tax dollars. We don't like the idea of that either. Small win, probably a larger loss felt across a more broader audience if our tax dollars are going to have to come up to cover that shortfall, which is unfortunate to think of. But prepare yourself for that eventuality, because that is likely coming down the pipeline for all of us in Ontario. There are other parts of this act that I like, that are needed and are going to help the development process massively. We'll talk more about those, but for now, I really wanted to talk about development charges going down, property taxes going up, maybe. I'd be curious to know what everyone else thinks is going to happen, and if you are already planning for your property taxes to go up over the next 10 years, a significant amount, so that cities can continue doing everything that they do for us. Again, I'm Cam Vandersloot. Let's talk real estate. I am obsessed with real estate, and I want to hear what your thoughts are about Bill 23. Talk soon.